Good evening. You're watching the 7 o'clock English news from the Sultanate Oman television. First, the headlines. The National Parks Board of Singapore wins the UNESCO Sultan Qaboos Environmental Preservation Award 2017. His Excellency the CEO of Central Bank of Oman stresses that the monetary situation in the Sultanate is stable. More than 11,700 land plots are approved in various governorates of the Sultanate. And Oman Science Festival is launched in the Sultanate, focusing on the latest scientific and innovative skills. Those are the headlines, and now the news in detail. UNESCO announced that the National Parks Board of Singapore and Parks has won the UNESCO Sultan Qaboos Environmental Preservation Award 2017. The award has been given to Ant Parks of Singapore for its commitment and diligent work to support environmental preservation. Ant Parks promotes the conservation to biodiversity in urban environments and rare natural areas, improves the environmental conditions of habitats and species, and supports the teaching of biodiversity at all levels of education. The award will be presented to the winning institution during the World Science Forum to be held in the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan in November 7th to 11th. The first Government Communications Forum, organized by the Secretariat General of the Council of Ministers with the aim of enhancing governmental communications, continued at the Cultural Center of the Sultan Qaboos University. The second day witnesses a specialized workshop for officials and information departments, employees in the Sultanate, on the mechanisms of activating the government communication and new media. In addition, a workshop is held on national media campaigns, as well as a discussion session to follow up recommendations of media and communication institutions challenges seminar, which was held by the Ministry of Information. The Information Center at Samaharam Archaeological Park was opened in the Governorate of Dhofar. More details in the following report.
An information center at Samaharam Archaeological Park was opened in the Governorate of Dhofar. The information center includes a presentation hall, outdoor shaded seating area, in addition to major facilities and services for visitors. The presentation hall shows a documentary on Samaharam Archaeological Park in general and the settlement of Samaharam in particular in both Arabic and English, showing the complete dimension of the site and its historical, cultural and geographical importance through the ages.
Well, I'm very glad to be here today because this is an important day for Oman and for the center for this site, which is actually a beautiful, absolutely gorgeous site, and I'm honored that my university contributed to this.
The presentation hall contains touch screen to present a collection of archaeological discoveries in Samaharam Archaeological Park and the surrounding sites dating back to different periods of time, as well as a brief explanation of the historical settlement of Samaharam.
I am very glad and proud to be here for this inauguration. I started my work in Sumuram 20 years ago, so we did a lot of excavations, restoration of the site. But now I think it's the right moment to have also a small center, but very with high technology, to explain to the public what it is our work. So inside this center, the public, the tourists, Omani from the other country in the world, can find a TV, a screen with a video in Arabic and English about the history, the discoveries of Sumuram, and then for touch screen, it is possible so in the future download the content of the touch screen with all the information.
The sites of Samahram, Obar, Al-Balid and Wadi Doka are registered sites on the World Heritage List under the name of the Frankincense Land Sites. The Office of the Advisor to His Majesty the Sultan for Cultural Affairs develops and provides them with services and beautification facilities to promote cultural and archaeological tourism in the Governorate of Dhofar. For Oman TV News, Mohammed bin Nasr Al-Yafi'i, Samahram Archaeological Park, Dhofar Governorate.
Meanwhile, Information Center at Obar Archaeological Site is open today under the patronage of His Excellency Sayyid Mohammed bin Sultan Al Busaidi, Minister of State and Governor of Dhofar. The Information Center includes a presentation hall that comprises a screen to show documentary through 3 devices, general information about Obar Ecological Site and various utilities for visitors. The documentary narrates the story of the site, its historic and archaeological dimensions, and scenes of the blessed Renaissance March under the leadership of His Majesty Sultan Qaboos bin Said. The archaeological sites of Samahram, Obar, Al-Balid and Wadi Doka are registered sites of the World Heritage List under the name Land of Frankincense Sites. Despite the recent existence of Islamic banks, those banks were able to win the confidence of the clients with its services. Figures show that the market share of Islamic banks reached 11.6%. That was affirmed during the start of the educational program for Islamic banking, meant to educate the public about such banks and boost their trust. Those banks are based on Islamic legislations and seek to create a balance with traditional banks in boosting the national economy. Economists indicated that Islamic banks are a successful contributive alternative in the shadow of financial crisis which could erupt with the rising inflation, and that those banks were able to provide similar products and services available in other traditional banks and in fulfilling needs of other customers. The monetary situation in the Sultanate is stable, and the Central Bank of Oman is working closely with the Ministry of Finance to know the trends of the budget and revenues and its estimates during the coming period. That was confirmed by His Excellency Tahir bin Salim Al Amri, CEO of the Central Bank of Oman. 28 urban schemes in various governorates of the Sultanate were approved by the Technical Committee concerned with urban planning in its 15th meeting of the year. The 28 schemes include more than 11,700 land plots with various uses and will be distributed to citizens. The committee in the meeting also reviewed the project of preparing structural schemes for the governorates of North and South Batina. The Governorate of Dakhliya came first in the number of the approved schemes with 11 schemes, followed by the Governorates of South and North Sharqiya with 5 each. The Governorate of Dhofar came third with 3 approved schemes. It's worth mentioning that the Ministry of Housing provided around 4,000 land plots with various uses during the period from January to October this year. The meeting was chaired by His Excellency Engineer Saif bin Amr al-Shakhsi, Under Secretary of the Ministry of Housing. Still to come on News Bulletin. As Oman Science Festival is launched across the Sultanate, the students from the Governorate of Dakhliya shared their scientific experience. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi arrived in Paris today for a 3-day visit to the French capital. He was met at the LIC Palace by the his French counterpart Emmanuel Macron before the two men went inside for talks. The meeting was expected to focus on economic cooperation and the fight against extremism. French authorities see Egypt as a key country in efforts to stabilize the troubled region. Egypt has been struggling to contain militant insurgency led by local affiliate of the Daesh group, mostly in the northern part of the Sinai Peninsula. Egypt has concluded several arms deals with France since 2015, including the purchase of 2 French-made Mistral-class helicopter carriers, 24 French Rafale warplanes and missiles. Myanmarese and Bangladeshi officials met in Naypyidaw today to discuss plans to repatriate hundreds of thousands of Rohingya Muslim refugees who fled to Bangladesh after violence erupted in Rakhine state last August. Bangladesh's Home Affairs Minister Asaduzzaman Khan met his Myanmarese counterpart Kyo Swu, accompanied by their respective delegations. Issues discussed during the meeting included verification procedures of Rohingya refugees in Bangladesh, border security, law enforcement, and counter-terrorism. The United Nations Refugee Agency UNHCR said more than 600,000 Rohingya Muslims have fled into Bangladesh since security forces in neighboring Myanmar launched a violent crackdown against them on 25th of August. Tens of thousands of homes and businesses have been left without power in the U.S. state of North Carolina after severe weather struck the area. Downed trees and power lines are reported in 4 counties. Meanwhile, meteorologists at the National Weather Services in South Carolina say they are reasonably confident that the tornado touched down in a portion of the state. The South Carolina Highway Patrol reported multiple traffic accidents with debris in the road in Spartanburg County. Property damage and flooding are also being reported in the county in connection with the storms. The Olympic flame left ancient Olympia in Greece today and began its long journey to the opening ceremony of the Pyeongchang 2018 Olympic Winter Games in February. Due to poor weather and the lack of sunshine, the flame, which was lit on Sunday during rehearsals to be used during the ceremonies. Dignitaries at the ceremony included Greek President Prokopios Pavlopoulos, South Korean Prime Minister Lee Nak-yeon, and International Olympic Committee President Thomas Bach. The Pyeongchang Winter Games will be held from February 9th to 25th. The torch relay will cover more than 2,000 kilometers on Greek territory and will arrive at the Acropolis in Athens on October 30th. On October 31st, the flame will be handed over to the Pyeongchang 2018 Organizing Committee during ceremony at Athens Panethnic Stadium, where the first modern Olympic Games were held in 1896. Now back to some more local news. The novel Muscat Cinderellas won the Cultural Creativity Award in the Sultanate. The categories in the 9th edition of the award included poetry, short story, novel, critical, historical, and literature studies, as well as manuscripts. It's worth mentioning that the honored cultural project of the year was one of the main libraries in the Salalah, including around 4,000 books. On the other hand, writer Ahmed Al-Falahi was honored as the cultural personality of the year 2017 for his great contribution in the literature and cultural movement in the country. The honoring ceremony was presided over by His Excellency Dr. Yahya bin Mahfoud Al-Mandari, Chairman of the State Council. The Sultanate joined world countries in marking the World Post Day, which falls on the 9th of October every year. The post is considered an effective tool for society members and businessmen to facilitate various commercial transactions. It's worth mentioning that the postal services started in the Governorate of Muscat in the mid of 19th century. Since that time, the Sultanate sought to improve the post services through using modern technologies. According to latest statistics issued by the National Center for Statistics and Information, Oman Post has around 83 branches distributed in various governorates of the Sultanate. To keep pace with the latest improvements in the postal products sector, Irsal company owned by Oman Post was launched. This company operates within the governorates of Muscat first and will deliver postal materials to the clients. The event was presided over by His Excellency Dr. Ahmed bin Mohammed Al Futaisi, Minister of Transport and Communications. Activities of the Information Technology and Telecommunications Forum started in Muscat with the wide participation of around 200 experts from inside and outside the Sultanate in both public and private sectors. The forum discusses the future of IT in the Sultanate as well as ways to support the electronic approaches of the government, in addition to shed light on the new solutions in this field. The forum also highlighted cloud computing and internet, as well as the new strategies of Oman Tel, besides the services provided to the public and private institutions. It's worth mentioning that the forum came within the framework of e-government and its future aspects. The 15th Regional Seminar for graduates of the U.S. Naval War College started in Muscat today within the framework of the cooperation between the Royal Navy of Oman and the American Naval War College. The two-day seminar stresses enhancing educational and practical aspects and exchange of academic expertise with the universities and colleges associated with naval fields. The seminar also included presentation of a number of work papers and lectures, mainly the joint action during naval operations, combating piracy, as well as international standards and rules, in addition to humanitarian aids and rescue in cases of disasters. The event was held under the auspices of Rear Admiral Abdullah bin Khamis Al Raisi, Commander of the Royal Navy of Oman. Muscat International Exhibition for Gold and Jewelry was held in Oman Convention and Exhibition Center. The five-day exhibition will include various colorful jewelry and precious stones with beautiful and attractive shapes and designs. The 8th edition of the exhibition witnessed a wide participation from various jewelry manufacturing factories. The exhibition also offers more choices for the consumers, as some companies have special offers and discounts for the customers. A ceremony was held in the Nizwa College of Technology for the graduation of a new batch of Bachelor, Advanced and Technology Diploma holders. The number of graduates exceeded 980 in various majors, including Commercial Studies, Engineering and Information Technology. The ceremony was presided over by His Excellency Dr. Abdullah bin Mohammed As-Sarmi, Under Secretary of the Ministry of Higher Education. Oman Science Festival was launched today across the governorates of the Sultanate. Our reporter Saleh bin Khalfan Rahbi has more details about the festival in the governorate of Dakhiliya.
Oman Science Festival is an inspiring scientific event which is concerned with introducing science to students in particular and to the public in general. At Dakhiliya Governorate, concurrently with other governorates of the Sultanate, witnessed today the inauguration of Oman Science Festival.
There are many aims of this festival. First of all, to introduce the science to the students, also to create a positive attitude toward the scientific research.
The festival included several applied and exploratory educational experiences in various fields of science and an exhibition of student innovations in the fields of natural science, mathematics, energy and transportation, engineering systems, and the environment.
We are here today to introduce to them what is biotechnology. Is a mixture of using microorganisms or other living organisms with technology, the modern technology, to produce beneficial products to the people.
This participation means me a lot because it encouraged me to invent more inventions. Also, it helps me to show my projects to other people who can apply their projects in the real life.
In addition, the event included a series of workshops that deal with topics such as robots, astronomy, and space, as well as a variety of competitions and games. Science is a precious gift to humanity. This festival is an opportunity to promote scientific innovations among the community of students. For the Sultanate of Oman Television English News, Salih bin Khalfan al-Rahbi, Al-Dakhliya, Governorate.
Now for the weather forecast on the Sultanate, clear skies prevail over the Sultanate with chances of low clouds and fog late at night and early morning over the governorates of Sharqiya and Worcester and coastal areas of the Sea of Oman. Winds will be easterly to southeasterly light to moderate and seas will be slight with a maximum wave height of 1 meter. This is the Sultanate of Oman Television. Before we enter tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The National Parks Board of Singapore wins the UNESCO Sultan Qaboos Environmental Preservation Award 2017. His Excellency the CEO of Central Bank of Oman stresses that the monetary situation in the Sultanate is stable. More than 11,700 land plots are approved in various governorates of the Sultanate. And Oman Science Festival is launched in Sultanate, focusing on the latest scientific and innovative skills. And with that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin from over here in the newsroom and studios. Thanks for watching. Good night.